So where do you get your Minecraft mods? Most people would probably say Modrinth or CurseForge, right? Yep, exactly. I get my mods from those sites too. And not just mods, but also resource packs, shaders, and sometimes even data packs. Why these websites? Because they are most popular and therefore they have strict moderation, so you don't have to worry about downloading a mod with a virus onto your computer. That's how it works, right? Not so long ago, in 2023, hundreds of different mods were infected on CurseForge. It wasn't CurseForge itself that was hacked, but the developers' accounts of popular mods. Through them, they uploaded updates to existing mods. As a result, a lot of players were affected. After this incident, CurseForge said it would monitor the addition of mods to the website more strictly in the future. So, I became curious to find out whether moderation on this website had been increased and whether it will be able to upload my virus mod to them. Would they let it through or block it? Let's find out together. Of course, in order to upload such a mod to a website, you first need to make it. Create a mod for Minecraft that will contain a virus. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about programming. For me, it's a dense and impossible forest, an excellent lead into advertising integration for some programming courses, but no, it's much more prosaic than that. I simply turned to someone who could write this mod for me, because this is a very delicate matter and I had no intention of inflicting other people's computers. I needed someone I could trust completely. That person turned out to be my friend, who is knowledgeable about programming and knows a lot about writing mods. Roughly speaking, half the work was done. I had found someone who would take on the task. All that was left was to come up with a mod and virus, I thought. And the idea of creating this video dragged on for several weeks. The main tension was that I didn't want to break the law. Adding a virus to mod that steals player data, even for a video created for informational purposes, is a very questionable idea. It could easily make things worse. I sought through hundreds of different options for what could be done in this case. At one point, I even wanted to abandon the whole idea. It's a bummer, but this isn't the first time this has happened. But then it struck me. I remember my video about banned mods. Among them was the Broken Script. It's a very popular mod that adds scary events, world destruction, and most importantly, a ban in your own world in the game. For this reason, the mod was blocked on both CurseForge and Modrin. So I went to the website rules section and tried to find out which mods are banned and which mods the website itself will not allow, and which ones will be considered mods with viruses. So I took all these rules on board. Let's slow down a little and talk about the mod itself. After all, in addition to the virus in the mod, you need the mod itself, one that will perform at least some functions. We need something simple, something not too ordinary but at the same time useful. The developer suggested making a mod that would notify players about the durability of their tools. Nothing complicated. When the durability of any tool used by the player drops to 75%, a notification is displayed in the chat. It says, "Be careful, the durability is already 75%, and this will happen every 25% until the tool is almost completely destroyed." It seems like a pretty standard mod, but it can really help newbies. When I first started playing Minecraft, I was looking for mods like this. When you're mining blocks in the game, it's easy to get carried away and forget about your tool's durability. I totally love this idea. So my friend got to work on writing a mod like this. In the meantime, I decided that it would be worth creating a new account on CurseForge and Modrinth. After all, it would be very strange if I created a new account and uploaded my mod on the very same day. This could raise a lot of suspicion and, in general, the mod might be reviewed very closely because of this. Just in case, I even added the word studios to my nickname, assuming that this is not just a random person from the internet, but a whole studio that will develop mods. So I think you understand that I approached this issue very carefully in order to maximize my chances. Just a couple of days later, my friend developer sent me a fully finished mod that worked perfectly. As soon as the tool's durability dropped to a certain level, a warning message appeared in the chat. Now it seemed like it was done a deal. Add the virus and start uploading. The only problem was that I still had no idea for the virus. I mean, yes, there was a list of prohibited things in mods, but I had no idea what exactly could be done. Once again, the broken script came to my rescue. The virus was considered to be something that could ban a player in their own world. Literally, at a certain point, a trigger would activate and the player would be banned. Every time they enter the world, it was as if they were being kicked out. Even if you disable the mod and try to go back in, nothing happened. Players could be banned from their own world forever. You have to admit that's pretty harsh. You create a world, spend a lot of time in it, decided to install a support mod, and then it bans you from your own world, which you can no longer enter. Of course, my friend said that implementing something like this into a mod would not be particularly difficult. But now the question arises, how can we bypass or attempt to bypass the protection on these websites? What we can come up with to ensure that the mod is 100% approved for the website? The answer can be found in the situation with the CurseForge in 2023. Literally everyone wrote about it. The entire Minecraft community was stunned by the news that hundreds of mods had been infected with viruses. How did this happen? How were they able to bypass the protection? Let's take a brief look at this topic. The attack on CurseForge began, let's say, with the hacking of the accounts of several well-known mod developers. The attackers somehow managed to steal session tokens or passwords and were able to log into the accounts of mod developers. Obviously, they did not add new mods. That would have been too stupid and reckless. They acted very cleverly, injecting malicious code into existing mods. Roughly speaking, they pretended to create a mod update, and since mods are only checked when they are first added and only occasionally when an updated is downloaded, they easily bypass the security measures. Those who used the official launcher from CurseForge were the first to suffer. After all, it automatically pulled mod updates directly into the game folder. In other words, the launcher didn't even warn players that it was downloading anything. In addition to mods, mod libraries were also infected. These are mods without which others will not be able to launch. In other words, the virus even got into mod packs that did not contain any mods with viruses. This virus was named Fracturizer. This is because the first patient from whom the mods with viruses began to spread, there was an account with that nickname. How did this virus work? Very cleverly. After the user downloaded the mod and launched on their computer along with Minecraft, the mod would execute code that downloaded the main malicious file from the remote server. After that, the virus found other .jar files on the victim's computer and infected them. That is, even other mods that were not infected were at risk. What was the purpose of all this? Was it to prove the website are not secure enough? No. The virus stole users' data, which could include Minecraft accounts, Discord session tokens, which allowed user to log in without password, saved passwords from browsers, and, of course, cryptocurrency. The virus could easily replace wallet addresses in the clipboard. Thousands of players around the world were affected. The guys who created Prism Launcher have proven themselves very well. They were among the first to notice that something strange was happening with Minecraft mods and began to sound the alarm. In the end, a tool was created that allows you to check a mod in the matter of seconds to see if it contains the Fracturizer virus or not. Even though CurseForge and Bucket.org removed the infected mods and blocked all accounts, there are still infected mods on the internet. These mods can still harm you to this day. Using this information, I realized one thing. Mod validation weakness once the mod has been uploaded to the website. That means my goal is now not just one mod, but two. In other words, I need to create one completely safe mod that does not contain the virus, wait for moderation, and then try to upload the infected file as an updated version of the mod. The decision was made. The developer sent me the second version of the mod and asked for a copy of Hytale in return for his work. The deal was done. Everyone get what they wanted. In addition, to make the mod look less suspicious to the reviewers, I ordered a beautiful pixel icon for the mod. Yes, I tried to do everything to make it look less suspicious, but perhaps that's exactly what made it look suspicious. Then came the moment of truth. Since CurseForge automatically checked mods, I wasn't worried about it. My concerns were focused on Modern, because that website has manual moderation. Every uploaded mod is checked by a real person. Because of this, the verification process can take several hours or even days. So I started adding the first version of the mod to Modern. In theory, there was nothing complicated about it, but I started of course with my profile avatar. It would be unseemly namely for studio to be without design. I don't know why, but I choose the name Duck Studios, because I love ducks. The avatar was appropriate. The process of adding the mod was as simple as possible. I came up with an interesting description, using youthful emojis, as I thought it would look more professional that way. I chose the mod category, uploaded the icon I had ordered from the artist in advance, added a few screenshots demonstrating the mod functionality, and of course wrote a description and gave them names. Overall, it wasn't difficult. The last step was to upload the mod. As I said, I would first upload the regular version of the mod. As soon as I sent the mod for review, I started uploading it to the CurseForge. The process on this website is literally the same. I simply copied all the information from the Modrinth project to the CurseForge project. However, for some reason, I was occasionally redirected from the new design version to the old one. Nevertheless, the project was created and also sent for moderation. What did I do? I began to wait. It turned out that CurseForge now also has manual moderation. The mod must be checked by a real person, just like on Modrinth. I didn't have to wait long, and literally 40 minutes later, I received a notification that my mod had been successfully added to CurseForge, which made me very happy. By the end of the day, the mod had already been downloaded 4 times. 2 of those downloads most likely belonged to the moderators because they appeared during the mod review process. But the review in Modrinth took a very long time. I visited the mod page almost every hour and saw the same text under review. However, after about 3 hours, the first download appeared on the page, so I realized that the moderator had started reviewing the mod, and I began to wait. Again, I had to wait quite a long time, especially compared to CurseForge. I checked the page from time to time, and at some point, after a little more than a day, the download counter updated and showed exactly 2 downloads. This led me to believe that perhaps the first moderator was very busy, and the second one came to his assistance. In the end, after almost 48 hours, the mod was successfully added to Modrinth, which made me incredibly happy. I didn't immediately upload the mod with the virus, so as not to attract attention to myself again. I left it to marinate for a while. I should note that after 3 days, without any advertising or mentions, the total number of downloads on both platforms reached almost 30. Well, more likely 25, because the downloads by the moderators themselves were also counted. Based on this, I concluded that the hour had come. To say that I was worried would be an understatement. The first thing I did was upload the new version of the mod to Modrinth. The process was very simple. I went to the management section, selected the version section, created a new one, provided the necessary information, selected the file, and described the changes that had been made to this version. In my case, these were bug fixes, and that was it. In my understanding, as soon as I click the Create Version button, another moderation check of the new mod version will begin. But no! After adding it, the new version becomes available in literally seconds. What about CurseForge? Things are slightly better here, but the keyword is slightly. The verification process took exactly 3 minutes, after which the new version of the mod became available to every user. Of course, I immediately deleted these 2 virus mods. Fortunately, the websites allow you to do this, and no one had time to download them. But if any of these users had downloaded such a mod or simply updated the old one, they would have seen this message when entering the world. It says the following: this mod prohibits you from entering any game world. We use it to test the security measure of popular sites from which you most likely download this mod. To continue playing, uninstall Toolprompt 2.0 mod from your device. We will also be happy if you leave a report on the page from where you downloaded it. This is not malicious, just simply security test. You are safe. Yes, we decided not to create a mod that would break the Minecraft world so that no one else could enter it. That would be too much. Therefore, if any of the users were able to update it and found themselves unable to enter their world, all they would need to do is delete the old version of the mod. What can we learn from this experiment? Mods are very carefully checked when they are first uploaded, and the chance of you downloading the first version of the mod with a virus is very low. However, no one can guarantee the subsequent version of the mod will not contain viruses that could harm your device in some way, but that's if we're talking about Modrinth. The moderation process on CurseForge was much faster than on Modrinth, and we can assume that it was automated, but I am tempted to believe that CurseForge can afford to hire more people to moderate mods and have some kind of unique software for checking them, since they simply have more money. The purpose of this video is not to say that Modrinth or CurseForge are bad, no, not at all. Personally, I use these websites on a regular basis, because, quite simply, these websites are the most popular and have the most mods. The purpose of this video was to convey the message that you cannot blindly rely entirely on the moderation of these websites. As we already understand, moderation is only carried out at the early stages, and the chance that a new version of the mod could harm your world or for your computer, while small does exist. What conclusion can we draw from this? Global websites are not a panacea and do not guarantee 100% protection. Yes, Modern and CurseForge do a great job of filtering tons of content, but as our experiment has shown, any armor has its weak spots. The update system is that very blind spot that moderators look into after the fact. Therefore, the main rule remains unchanged. Your safety is in your hands. Make backups of your worlds before installing even the most harmless updates, and only download mods from the authors you trust. This video was not created to scare you, but to make you a little more careful about what you download to your PC. Forewarned means forearmed. While you're waiting for the next video, check out these ones. They're just as interesting. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button and hit the notification bell. See you soon, because we discover Minecraft in a whole new way.